Welcome to GB News, I'm Adam Cherry, and today we are diving into the very bizarre world of political advertising. Now, Labour's latest attempt to connect with voters has taken an unexpected turn into the realm of artificial intelligence. The governing party has recently released a 34-second TikTok video titled Labour's Plan to Change Britain as Animals. Right. It features a menagerie of AI-generated creatures to promote their policy agenda. So let's just take a quick look at this clip and break it down a little bit. Right, okay, so the video opens with a rather striking image. A muscular lion wearing a suit and red tie standing proudly outside the Houses of Parliament. This digital feline is supposed to represent Sir Keir Starmer. Apparently it symbolises his return to power. Okay, next, viewers are treated to a bulldog in a police uniform patrolling a residential street, and the accompanying text promises, "You will feel safer with more police on the beat." I mean, I feel safer already just looking at this video. Perhaps the most eyebrow-raising moment comes when a rabbit appears, donning a blue NHS nurse uniform complete with a stethoscope. As the bunny folds its arms, a caption reassures viewers that they'll soon be seen quicker and sooner by our NHS. Well, if that doesn't convince you, absolutely nothing will. Shock! The public reaction has been largely negative. Who could have seen that coming? The top comment on TikTok reads, "Labour will use AI slop and ignore the arts yet again," highlighting perhaps some concerns about the party's priorities. Another user accuses Labour of being out of touch with young people. Remind you, this is supposed to be the very demographic they were trying to reach with this video and through this platform. Oh well. Perhaps the most damning criticism, however, came from a commenter who pointed out AI is incredibly resource wasteful and takes work away from skilled artists. Bad idea. Yeah, the sentiment touches on a broader concern about AI's impact on the creative industry and the job market. And of course, that's before you even get to the huge security issues specifically to do with TikTok, because the British government is facing calls to ban the app entirely over fears that sensitive data could be accessed by Chinese intelligence services. In fact, a former defense chief went so far as to describe TikTok as a, quote, key intelligence source for China's vast intelligence network. Now, these concerns have led to a ban on TikTok usage across Whitehall for several years, right at the centre of the government. However, funnily enough, the Ministry of Defence continues to use TikTok to communicate with British troops worldwide, which you would argue might highlight the balance that has to be struck between reaching audiences and maintaining security. It doesn't necessarily look like they've got that balance completely perfect, but never mind. Now, let's talk about the implications politically for this, because the video raises several important questions over the future of political communication in the digital age. Things are changing very quickly. So does the use of AI-generated content, does it help the party in any way, or does it actually detract? Because it's so obvious what some of this stuff is. It might grab attention, but there's a risk of being inauthentic and actually distracting from real issues. And as AI-generated content becomes more universal, are they prepared to critically evaluate what they see online and distinguish between what is real and what isn't? Do they have the time to do that? And as it gets more sophisticated, is it going to be much harder to do that in the future? I think there are serious questions over that particular one. Now, by investing in AI-generated content, are political parties, are they diverting resources away from more traditional forms of engagement and policy development? Is there an opportunity cost to this? Now, the criticism about ignoring artists also highlights the concerns that AI may displace human creativity in various sectors. In other words, it's the computer doing all the fun stuff for you. We don't need artists or scholars anymore. AI can do the whole thing. That's without even questioning the data privacy angle of all this, because the use of platforms like TikTok for political messaging does have data security and foreign influence in domestic politics. It has those implications as well. They need to be considered. Now, the broader context of this, let's just go over that for a little bit, because Labour's video is just one small example of how AI is now dominant in political campaigning and messaging. This isn't the first, and it won't be the last time we see this. In fact, more of this will come as the technology advances. We can expect it to become more sophisticated. AI could be used to tailor political messages to individual voters based on their online behavior through cookies and through browser history, things like that. It could get pretty grisly. There's also the question of fact-checking. AI systems, they could analyze political speeches and debate in real time. Some of them are already doing this. So they could provide instant fact-checking for viewers. But the question is that reliable, and do voters apply a similar critical eye to that fact-checking as they might other more traditional routes, like traditional journalism, the real meat and potatoes? Now, parties might use AI to predict voter behaviour and optimise campaign strategies. I think this is something that Dominic Cummings, remember him, this is something that even he is considering, and how it can be used to predict voter behaviour in seconds when focus groups would take months. This stuff can just spit it out instantly. Now, beyond the simple videos, obviously AI could be used to generate entire policy documents or speech drafts. That might already be happening. We might not know it yet. And as AI becomes more integrated into our politics, we have to think about the ethical considerations as well. Think about transparency. Should parties be required to disclose when they're using AI? At the moment, it's relatively easy to detect, at least visually. With speeches, it might be a little bit more complicated. Who's responsible for the accuracy and the implications of AI generated content politically, especially in the political space, actually? And could AI powered campaigning create an unfair advantage for parties with more resources? I mean, that's a perennial debate. The more money you have, the more resources you have at your disposal. Does that tip the balance politically? And how can AI be used to create deepfakes or other forms of misleading content? That's a serious issue that I think the government are going to be looking at just this week. So watch this space on that one. Now, the AI video we saw here today, the animal video, it might be remembered as a kind of early, crude and clumsy attempt at leveraging new technology. It's not particularly sophisticated, but it signals a broader shift in how parties are actually approaching digital communications and the digital age. As I said, this is not the first or the last time you'll see this. And as we move to further future elections, it will be absolutely crucial for everyone, voters, politicians, regulators, you name it, to grapple with AI in political discourse. This is going to get more serious. And the challenge will be to harness that tech because it has some use, it has some good, but you've got to maintain the integrity of the democratic process. We don't want this stuff exploited. So ultimately, while AI might provide new tools for political communication, I don't think it can replace the fundamental need for policies, genuine engagement, debate, and serious thinking. We can't just rely on this stuff for everything. And as parties experiment with this technology, they need to remember that voters aren't just looking for something flashy and new, which is what AI really is. It's not just about the spectacle. They need the substance as well. This has been Adam Cherry for GB News. Remember, in the world of politics, sometimes the strangest stories can reveal the deepest truths. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more originals content.